Hi again. So I'm going to talk about and give some advice and tips on how to train or what to do in the week before you actually start your period, because I've experienced this week and I am currently day one of actually being on my period, and I knew that it was coming. And I know that sounds silly because I should know, I'm a girl, I'm a woman, whatever, but I've never really closely tracked my period. Obviously, I am somewhat aware, but I've just never really tracked it religiously, and I kind of know roughly when I should be, coming on and things like that. But when it comes to my training, I've never really fully adjusted my training to my menstrual cycle, because I believe that certain things can have an impact on your mindset and have a psychological impact on how you're going to perform. So I've always just liked to, in every single session, regardless of where I'm at in my period and my cycle, to just listen to my body and train as, or push myself as much as I can. And that's that. And if I can, then I just don't. I don't and I can't, because I just can't, obviously. So yeah, the reason for this video is because the other day I had a really shit session and I just wasn't expecting it. And I was gonna train glutes. Mentally, I was in the mood for it. I was really in the mood to push myself with glutes, right? And my body just wasn't having it. So yeah, my body just wasn't having it. I know my body very, very well. I know that it wasn't diet related. Usually it would be the fact that, like, oh, I'm not recovered enough. Like, my muscles in my legs or my glutes or my hamstrings, whatever, they're just not recovered enough. And it could be the fact that maybe I haven't had much sleep, which I've had decent sleep recently, so I know there's not that. And what else? And if I've been training hard for a long period of time and then my body is just not recovering because my nervous system isn't recovering, properly. And then also another thing that I know, is not eating enough, like not fueling myself enough. And the fact that I've been tracking what I'm eating recently, and I know that I'm eating a decent amount and I'm pretty much eating the same every single day, I just knew that it wasn't these things. And then I was like, okay, I know that I'm due on my period sometime soon. So yeah, I just knew it was that. And this is why it can be really helpful actually to track your food for a while and actually make sure that you're eating enough calories and protein and carbs for your sessions. So yeah, I just knew that it was my cycle and my menstrual cycle, Oh yeah, and another thing that I forgot to mention was the fact that it could have been stress, and stress genuinely has an impact on your recovery. So I know that it's not that, because I haven't been stressed. I've been sleeping well, I've been hydrating, I've been eating high quality protein sources and nutrients. And yeah, I just knew that it was my period that was having the impact on my training. And it has been the whole week, actually, apart from maybe like one session where I felt really strong. But all of the other times I've not been able to push myself, where I was feeling ultra strong in loads of other sessions, have been consistent. In this particular glute session, usually I would try to push myself anyway and still just get really frustrated, because I know that I was feeling so much stronger like a few weeks ago. Yeah, I didn't just stop training. I still continued training, but I just could tell the difference in my body. It was weird. So yeah, I didn't just stop training, I just adjusted. And I wouldn't normally do that, I'm not gonna lie. I would still try to continue pushing myself, but I just knew the difference, okay? It was like I had lower energy, I felt weaker, I had like less ability to just push through. And that is essentially what it feels like if you don't train already. If you do, then you probably already know. But you know what's funny is that in my 20s, I genuinely didn't, sounds really bad actually, but I genuinely didn't know much about my cycle in terms of my training, and that I would still have, this is what used to happen to me anyway, like I used to feel like my training was finally going good all the week leading up to my period, and then as soon as my period came, I was like, oh my god, like I cannot deal, and obviously dying, and I was just frustrated because I was like, oh, it's just getting in the way, have to restart again, blah blah blah. Obviously I know you don't just have to restart and things like that now. But yeah, I still felt like my training would go well the week leading up to it, but maybe that was because I was unaware of the impact of your menstrual cycle on your training. I literally had no idea. Oh yeah, and I just want to say that the other day when I was training, just one thing that I noticed was I am usually pretty fit. I maintain my cardio. My cardio system in terms of like my breathing is fine. Like my cardiovascular system has always been very efficient, because not always, I've trained my cardiovascular system to be this efficient, but what I'm trying to say is that, oh my god, my heart rate, I was doing like hip thrusts and my heart rate just, to be honest, everything, my heart rate and my breathing was just like after sets, where usually it wouldn't have been. There was something flying around there. So the reason why this drop in energy happens is because your estrogen and your progesterone, can never say that word, decreases, or it slowly starts to drop, and this is why your energy levels are low, you feel weaker, all of that stuff, whereas usually you could feel really strong mentally and physically. And the funny thing is that I was tracking my menstrual cycle a few years ago when I had a Whoop band, and it was really good because it told you how your performance, and so it told you how your body would be as a female. And I know all of these smart watches do it as well, but Whoop was just really good because I was trying to track my recovery, because I felt a decrease in my recovery in my 30s compared to my 20s. So I really wanted to get to know my body even more, and so it would measure your HRV, and then it would tell you about how your body as a female would be, like, you know, training at each cycle. And I was actually really surprised, but also not, that the week during your period you can push yourself more. And it's funny because during my period I have always had a really bad bellyache. I'm not someone who has extreme symptoms during my period, but it's still bad enough that I don't want to train. But I still liked to train on my period because I knew I would still feel better. And the fact that, you know, when you don't have a really good mood on your period and you've got all this irritation, you've got all of this frustration, all of these negative feelings that come up, I used to love to use that as fuel to train hard, and it always worked, honestly. But I had no idea back then, in my 20s, there was a hormonal change physically in our bodies that actually allowed us to train intensely and recover better. And I get it that obviously most girls or women won't feel like training, and that is fair enough, but it does help, and you do end up having really good sessions. But of course, everyone needs to listen to their own bodies. I have always just been someone who kind of goes against my body in a way and use my mind to push myself to do these things anyway. But I'm also realizing with wisdom and maturity that just making these small adjustments can really actually help, and especially mentally as well, because you know you're not going to go into every single training session, because I always do most. But on that week, you know, leading up to your period, you know that you're not going to be able to go as hard as you would do normally. So I could talk about all of this stuff all day, every day. As you can tell, like, this has always been my passion. And I'm finally sharing it on here on YouTube. I wasn't even going to do a video today because I was like, oh no, I'm going to be on my period and I probably won't feel good emotionally. I'll probably cry and my bellyache will be bad. However, I'm feeling all right, so I thought I would do a video. So here are a few tips that may help you if you were feeling a change in your sessions and you weren't sure why. This is the reason why. But some things that you can do, which I don't normally do, I have done this week, which I think has made a massive difference. So first of all, number one, just lower the intensity of the sessions. I am someone who really enjoys training, so I like to just push myself. That's just how I am mentally. I always have been like this. If you enjoy training, if you enjoy pushing yourself, but don't want to stop, just lower the intensity of your sessions. That is literally all you need to do. And by that, what I mean is do your best, first of all. Just mentally be prepared that your body may not be able to do what it's done the rest of the month. And in your weight sessions, for example, if you are planning to do squats, hip thrusts, deadlifts, you can still do them. There's nothing to say that you can't do them, like I did the other day. I just knew that there was a change in my body and I just did like way less weight than what I would normally do. And recently I've been feeling pretty strong with my hip thrusts, like 80 to 90 kilograms. And so I just did like 60, maybe pushed it up to like 70. I just didn't push through in terms of my reps. You could use it as a deload week, which means that it's the same thing. Reduce the intensity of your whole sessions during that whole week, and you're not planning any PBs or maximum strength or like maximum push yourself. It's just like that. Another option could be that you do a full body type workout that just requires your own body weight. So yeah, you can definitely do things like that because it's not as intense as weight training. In a way, it's not so taxing on the nervous system. And then you've got options like Pilates or yoga, things like that. You've got fitness classes that may not be as intense in a way. You can still move your body and feel good. Or you've got options like walking. I personally still like to go to the gym. I still like to do whatever I can. But yeah, you could even choose swimming or dance or something like that if that's your thing. But yeah, mostly this channel is going to be about training in the gym and pushing yourself. Also, we want to make sure we're hydrating ourselves, so it could be with loads of water and electrolytes. And then the last thing that I will probably say is, yes, we always want to make sure that we're sleeping good. We want to make sure that we're fueling our body consistently and giving it the nutrients that it needs. You know, the week before your period, you then know whether it's your period or whether it's the fact that you haven't got enough energy to actually still do things, you see. So energy levels through nutrition are really important as well. So just bear that in mind. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful for you. If you find this helpful or if you have any questions, like, let me know in the comments. And yeah, like and subscribe if you want to continue seeing more of this style content. So yeah, I will see you soon.